a special introduction for Michael. He has taught for 2 decades for NITA, over 160 programs. He's taught 15 programs in Africa under the Rule of Law program. And NITA, you can see the, if you go down the hallway, you'll see the first NITA class, I believe was 1971. And there was a man by the name of Judge Keeton, and he was one of the founders of NITA. And years later, they decided to have the Robert Keeton Award for Outstanding Service, Outstanding Faculty. And I believe there's only, I don't know when they started it, but there's only a couple of dozen people who've received this award. And I am honored that Wendy McCormick, our executive director, asked me to present this to Michael. So Michael, if you will come up and get the Robert Keeton Award. And if you'd introduce yourself, please. You want me to hold this while you introduce yourself?
It looks so good, yeah. I'm trying to think of what the stars do when they're on stage. The award while I give a speech. I pull out some notes on my phone and I read off all the people I'd like to thank for this award. I'd like to start with my mother and father, who without them, and Christ who makes all things possible. Right? Is how you start. So my name is Michael Washington. I'm a judge in San Diego. As Mark was saying, I was a public defender for 21 years. My job was to make sure that my cases were not high-profile cases. So my job was to tell the press, no, you don't want to come watch. No, you don't want to see this. The less press, the better for my cases, because then the jury didn't think that they needed to do anything special. They would just decide the case based on my arguments, and sometimes that meant they let my clients go home on cases that they might not otherwise have done. I think Mark took part of my intro. I've taught throughout the globe. So I'll go to my interesting fact. When I was listening to Zenobia and I was listening to her about her love of Marvel and DC, mine's not quite that deep, but last year I had an opportunity to participate in what was known as the Black Panther Challenge. And it was a challenge to go to see that movie once a week while it stayed in the theaters. Well, I thought, well, that'd be great because it's going to be in the theaters for probably 6-8 weeks or so. It was in the theaters for 16 weeks in my local theater. And so I've seen that movie in theaters probably 20 times now, actually in the theater. I had Movie Pass last year, so I didn't have to pay for all those times. But my most exciting part of that was I got to see that movie in Tanzania when I was teaching there in Africa, and it was the most amazing thing to be in the theater watching Black Panther in Africa with Africans. So that's my interesting fact.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.